Ian Banks, The Wasp Factory. Was it his first book?
It was his first book. I mean, there's a story about how it got published, which may be apocryphal, but I think it's quite interesting, which was that he wasn't like a kind of literary insider or anything. He was just punting this MS around.
He's a computer boffin, I think, wasn't he?
I don't know what he was, but certainly now, I mean, I'll get onto this later, he's very keen on being Scottish and on hanging out in Scotland. It's nothing to do with the sort of literary scene. He's not to be seen propping up the bar in the Grouch Show, put it that way. Anyway, this manuscript was going the rounds of slush piles, apparently, which is the pile of manuscripts that are not submitted through an agent in the publisher. And it, of course, it wasn't getting anywhere because slush piles are not read by anybody of importance. And apparently the wife of one of the directors of Macmillan was in the habit of picking up things off the slush pile to go home and just flip through over the weekend. And she took the Wasp Factory. She was so freaked out by the content of the book that she said, you know, to her husband, this is an obscene and weird thing. And he had it read by a professional reader, and that's how it got published. So it was her kind of negative freak-out reaction to it that got it actually published.
Professional reader, so that's what happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
You were employed just to read all day, every day.
That's right, I used to do it myself.
Did you?
Yeah.
And I mean, do you know, I mean, we're getting off the track here, but I'm interested, I mean, do you not get kind of, sometimes if I listen to records all day, at the end of the day I think, God, I wouldn't know a good one from a bad one now.
Your judgment starts to go a bit weird. It's true. You start reading things that are terminally drecky and thinking, well, maybe they're good and I've just kind of lost my grip.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Anyway, we won't get into that. We're getting on to the book. I mean, one of the things about it, it's a long time since I read it, but one of the things that I can still kind of get this fix, it's got, I feel like a lot of great books out there, it's got an incredibly strong sense of place and atmosphere.
It has, and what's very interesting about this is that he puts in little cultural touches, like the character listens to the John Peel show. So it's kind of recognisably this world, but all the furniture of the world is so bizarre. He's in this isolated house. For some reason he doesn't have a penis. I'm not going to give it away, but that's part of the driving force of the plot. For some reason this kid, 17-year-old kid, doesn't have a penis. He lives with this weird ex-hippie father who's brought him up in a strange way and often kidded him, told him the world was shaped like a Moebius strip rather than the globe and all this sort of stuff. And he knows that his birth hasn't been registered, so it's this kind of out-of-time feeling that the book has, and it's set on this weird sandy island, and yeah, it's fantastic. The prose is actually very straight, is what's interesting about it, because the subject matter is quite extreme. He writes it very straight.
I mean, the other thing about his dad is he forces him to memorise all kinds of bizarre statistics.
That's right. He snaps questions at him. He says, what is the cubic capacity of the umbrella stand in pints? And all the furniture in the house has its measurements written on it and little labels. These are nice gags, and of course at the centre of it is this thing, the Wasp Factory, which is a weird kind of mixture between a maze and a sort of machine into which he inserts live wasps, and they have to kind of crawl around in it, and he uses it for auspication, for, you know, as an oracle to tell the future.
I mean, is it allegorical? Does it mean anything outside of what it is?
Well, I was discussing this with young Nick Lezard coming up on the train, whether it was, and what we were saying without getting too high flown about it was that since the subject of it is magic, sympathetic magic, it's not really allegorical at all. It's about itself. That's what's so odd about it. It's not meant to be symbolism of any kind at all, I don't think.
Okay.
It's a very accomplished book, astonishing book for a first novel.
Is it his best still, do you think?
I don't know. Somebody's written in here and said, I'm glad you're doing Ian Banks. But Walking on Glass was infinitely better book than Wasp Factory. I like Walking on Glass a lot. He wrote this kind of, the first three books, Wasp Factory, Walking on Glass and The Bridge, are in a sense of a piece. And I think he's gone from strength to strength. I haven't read Complicity. I know he's very kind of anti the literary world and lives up there in Scotland, but it does occur to me late at night in one of my little envious, jealous pets, what actually is he doing with the Wonga? I mean, Complicity's been on the bestseller list now for 25 weeks. That's a mean little literary thought.
Well, he came to see us. We didn't go to his gaff.
Oh, right.
So, I don't know. He may have a castle. Indeed, you might. Yeah. Okay, right. Will Self on the Wasp Factory. We're going to give away copies of that.
Yeah.
A little bit later on.
Yeah.
Right, looks like we are. Conclusive proof, if such were needed. Right, we haven't played any Christmas records.